Hi, this is Heather, also known as Heathwitch. Welcome back to my channel. Before we start, I want to give a trigger warning that this review will be for the Blood Tarot, in which we'll be discussing blood magic. So if you are susceptible to self-harm or you don't like working with blood magic, maybe this is not the video for you. Please keep yourself safe and do not partake in any blood rituals or blood magic unless you know what you're doing and you're 100% consenting to this. So that said, welcome everyone back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Heather. I'm a practicing witch and I review tarot decks, oracle decks, books, subscription boxes, anything and everything to do with witchcraft and magic. And I am planning some videos where you'll see me in front of the camera for later this year, giving out witchy tips and advice and answering any questions you may have. So, getting on to the Blood Tarot. This was a deck I spotted on Kickstarter last year. I've actually received this a while back and it's been sat on a shelf for a while, excuse me. It's been sat on a shelf for a while because I wasn't able to do any recording, so I didn't want to do any unboxing before I could record. So I've actually had this a little while, so I'm excited to see the deck itself. The reasoning behind the deck, as the creator has said on the back, is that they want to exist as a statement on both the importance of life and the beauty we can find when we don't feel symbols of death. It's made with no cruelty, with complete consent. The artist knows exactly what she's doing when it comes to blood magic and blood tarot. So it is her hope that the deck becomes a pleasant daily reminder that magic can still feel intimate and sublime. So it comes in a blue and gold tuck box. And let's take a peek inside. Nice sliding out of the box. It's not too tight that it's difficult to get out. There's a book, all the cards. Let's look at the book first. The Blood Tarot. Oh, okay, it actually folds out as an information sheet. So we've got Major Arcana, meanings of the suits. Let's unfold this properly. Major Arcana, meaning of the suits, and the Minor Arcana, and then on the back you've got all the Minor Arcana information as well. What I'm noticing so far is there doesn't seem to be the name of the creator anywhere, which is odd, and I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, so I'll actually put that in the description below. And if there is a link, I don't know if this is commercially available for sale now, well, not commercially, but whether you can still buy it. If you can, I will definitely link it in the description. So this is a standard deck of 78 cards, Major and Minor Arcana. The back is completely reversible. So if you like to read reversals, you're not going to know whether your card's upright or not until you deal it. That's quite nice. Cardstock is not too thin. It's quite sturdy. It's a typical tarot size. Let's dive in. So for every card in this deck, the artist actually cut herself, bled onto the page, and then did, she didn't do any intentional changes to the pattern the blood fell in. She just bled onto the page and then folded it in half and let the blood fall where it may. So she did this for every single card, and this is what the results look like. Let's bring this a little bit closer. So we have the Fool, and I can see some kind of face here, almost like, what am I getting myself into? Which is highly appropriate for the Fool, I think. Lovely cards. This is the Magician, Oh, now I can definitely see a being in this card. The face looks wreathed in power. Definitely a more mystical, magical card than the Fool was. Almost like the wise sage who is brimming with magic. The Priestess. Okay. This could be a dress. This could be a vagina. A vulva. You see, the beauty of these cards is that it could also be a horse's head, actually. Ears, eyes, muzzle, tip of the nose. The beauty of these cards is that the blood has fallen where it has, and it's interesting to see what kind of symbology that you could find in the cards if you take time to reflect on them, which is something that I will be definitely doing moving forward. I'm quite excited to actually see whether these cards end up being good for reading, or whether they're better for meditation, or whether they're better for more symbolic work, like in spell work, for example. That will be very interesting. The Empress almost looks like a butterfly. And if you think about what the Empress symbolizes, you know, it's typically a pregnant woman, and she's all about abundance. Then you've got this butterfly who is, you know, typically abundant in summer gardens, and also, you know, they've hatched from the chrysalis. So there's some correlations there that you could instantly draw if you wanted to. The Emperor almost looks like a throne. These are just my first thoughts as they come to me. Almost looks like a throne, or someone seated on a throne, or someone in a huge gown. Very commanding card. The Hierophant. The Hierophant I find very nebulous. If you look, all the blood splatter is actually either side of the card. There's very little in the middle, and it's almost nebulous. It's that concept of, you know, like knowledge can be nebulous. That's quite interesting. The Lovers. This is almost angelic. Now, the Lovers is a card, obviously, does what it says on the tin. It talks about romantic love, but it's also symbolic of devotion. You know, and this concept of potentially an angel in this card speaks to me more of devotion than of romantic love. Equally, it could be two lovers standing facing each other. I don't know. Fascinating. The Chariot. I'm trying to work out what I can see here. Could this be... I don't know. I don't know what that could be. But it's beautiful. Yeah. Could it be two horses seen from behind as they disappear off into the distance with their riders? Perhaps pulling a chariot. Who knows? Strength. This almost reminds me of the pelvic bones, you know, and there's a great deal of strength in your pelvis. That could very easily be symbolic of that. How interesting. The Hermit. Now this also, this to me is more like an insect. maybe a moth or another many-legged thing with possibly with wings. I love this suggestion of wings down here, as if it can travel between worlds, and we know the hermit goes within to bring the wisdom back out for us. So this concept of being something that could fly between the worlds, that could access that inner wisdom, I find that's very interesting. Wheel of Fortune. Where will you land? Will you land among plenty, or will you land among less? Justice. The Hanged Man. I wonder if this card would have been better if it was upside down. But I don't know. I don't know. Death. Oh, now. These remind me of hand and forearm bones. This definitely looks like some kind of death mask. Perhaps, you know, something that an indigenous culture would wear. That's very evocative. I like that a lot. Temperance. I can see eyes here staring out. And it's beautifully balanced. I know that's because of the way the artwork has been created, but it's super appropriate for this card. The Devil. Now the Devil, materialism, consumerism, things that entrap us. Look at all these little things that could entrap us that we feel are so important, but actually they're not. The Tower. That looks heavily fortified. But at the same time, it looks like it could come down within seconds. This is almost a sword. Where will it strike? What changes will it render? The Star. And it is almost a star. Beautiful. The Moon. The Sun. Judgment. This is a very challenging face I see here. Very challenging. Almost like, come before me and have your disparate parts judged. Will you be found worthy, or will you be found wanting? The World. Face again. Or two faces looking at each other. This is almost like the continents. This is quite interesting to me. Okay, and now we're on for the minor arcana. So we're going to start with Cups. So this is the Ace of Cups. I love how this is formed almost, oh, I see quite a thing here, a few things here. Almost a chalice or a goblet or a cup. But also I can see tail flukes from a whale disappearing into the ocean. And of course, Cups is ruled by the element of water. Whales are known for their intuition, their knowledge, symbolically, etc. They're the record keepers of the deep. This is quite a good representation of the Ace of Cups, actually. I quite like this. Two of Cups. Could almost be two people sitting about to hug or share a meal or share a conversation together. Very harmonious. Three of Cups. Again, we've got this gobletty shape here. Four of Cups. I love how we've got this almost expressive type of dance, type of movement here, but also this cup. These could be hands around the cup. This could be a safe place to come and land. Five of Cups. Now this is interesting because this face almost looks sad or despairing, which is entirely appropriate for this card. It could also be a cracked cup, a broken cup. Six of Cups. Again, goblet type. Seven of Cups. Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. Again, we've got this cup shape here, but I'm also seeing like some kind of flamboyant spellcaster or master of their abilities here. Ten of Cups. Again, this is almost pelvic to me. Page. I love how this actually looks like someone in some kind of costume. We've got this hat here, face, shoulders, arms holding, clutching something here. And then this void inside. Interesting. Knight of Cups. Again, some of these blood patterns look very similar to bone structures. These could be shoulder blades. This could be a breastbone, for example. Queen of Cups. Is this a woman with her headdress on? Or is this a face up here? There's so much to see in these cards. It's really hard to actually say, you know, this is what I see. King of Cups. So if you can hear any creaking, my table is a little bit creaky. King of Cups. And then straight into the Ace of Pentacles. Almost like a bug. A spider or something deep in the earth. Two of Pentacles. Again, insectoid type imagery here for me. Or kidneys, perhaps. I don't know. Three of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. And almost like this face here holding out, like, what do you have? What do you don't have? What do you not have? Or challenging you. Six of Pentacles. This one's a bit more angry to me. Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Again, almost like a moth seen from above. Nine of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. Is this a person? Head, their back, their shoulders? Are we seeing them from the front, the rear? You know, in a way, this reminds me of the Ten of Earth, which is the equivalent card in the Gaian Tarot. Because in that card, you actually have an older gentleman walking through a forest away from the card, so his back's to you. He's quite a distance away, and you can see him walking through a forest towards a light at the top of the path, breaking the trees. And it's almost like, you know, transitioning onward. And I'm wondering if, you know, this is kind of like the human body laid bare, transitioning, you know, what's beneath our skin and our inside of ourselves, really, you know, the fact that we are just made of blood and bone and all these wonderful organs that keep us going. Page of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Almost a bird here. Wings, beak. Suggestion of flight, almost. I don't know. It's weird for a Pentacles card, I know, but... Queen of Pentacles. Again, this almost insectoid imagery. King of Pentacles. This actually reminds me of rock fissures and strata within rocks and a skull. Very much a deck exploring the frailty and the strength of the body. Not just necessarily our body, but, you know, the body of other animals, other life. Ace of Swords. And this actually does look like a sword, a true sword. But we also have lots of blood splatter, which you would expect for this deck, obviously, because that's what it's made from. But, yeah. Two of Swords. Sword number one, sword number two. Nicely done. I like the fact that the fold has not been done that way this time. It's been done this way. That's quite nice. So it's not, yeah. So it's a more horizontal fold than a vertical one. Or perhaps it's both. Three of Swords. These so far are a lot more jagged than the previous suits. Four of Swords. Five of Swords. Six of Swords. You also see a little being here at the bottom and also at the top here. Another being here if you took those to be eyes. So that's three beings at least in the Six of Swords that I can see. These two could also be heads of something, a dragon or something. It's quite interesting. Seven of Swords. Almost like a, you know, the bottom of your pelvis, your tailbone, etc. Your spine. Eight of Swords. Almost opening its arms out in welcome. Nine of Swords. That to me speaks of a spine, you know, very straight backed, authoritative, secure in the knowledge that they know what they're talking about. Interesting. Ten of Swords. Wing-like effect here. So swords being the element of air, that's quite interesting. Or you could see maybe a fish or a pair of fishes. if these were the tails and this were the heads. Maybe not so much. Gonna go with the wings theory here. Page of Swords. Almost like a knight in some kind of armor with a sword. You know, this one makes me think of samurai warriors. Queen of Swords. Sorry, Knight of Swords. That's me getting ahead of myself. Knight of Swords. Very jagged. Almost challenging. I would say that would be a challenging stance. Let's see the best you can do. Queen of Swords. Queen, robe, holding swords maybe. Swords behind her, perhaps. King of Swords. Definitely makes me think of a king holding two swords here. And finally, we're on to wands. So this is the element of fire. Two of Wands. Three of Wands. Four of Wands. Oh, I quite like that one. That's quite impish or even cat-like. That's quite cute. Five of Wands. Six of Wands. Seven of Wands. Eight of Wands. Nine of Wands. It's almost eyes looking out at you. 10 of Wands. Page of Wands. Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands. And King of Wands. So that's the Blood Tarot. Very interesting deck. I would say that it's either a deck that you either have to be well versed in a particular tarot system and therefore be able to snap remember the meaning of any card so that you can just read it according to the tarot system in which you're already established, or you take the time to actually work through the cards and search for the symbolism within each card and create up your own meanings. The meanings that come with the deck, looking at them, yeah, they are your traditional Rider-Waite-Smith readings. Yeah, and it just gives you one line for upright and a line for reversed. So you could work to memorize this sheet or look to, you know, study each card alongside the sheet to see where you can find this symbology. I would not say it's a deck for beginners, because it relies heavily on what you're seeing in the patterns or on a previously applied knowledge of tarot. Intermediate, if you're curious. Advanced, definitely. I would not say this is a good deck for the beginner. I bought this as a tarot collector, and also because I was fascinated with the concept, with the sacredness of spilling your blood for your magic, for your art. I will probably use it. I will probably work with it and create up my own, see what definitions and qualities and things come to mind for me as I work through each card. It will be a while before I use it in spreads, I think. Very, very good for symbology. I could see you doing a lot of a lot of shadow work with this deck, and it would also be a really good deck for someone to use if they're doing any reflective work, journaling work, spell work, etc., in relation to blood mysteries, chronic health, terminal illness, anything like that. It may also be a very healing deck for those who are in recovery or who have had a history of self-harm. It may be a healing deck. In addition to that, of course, there's the caveat that it could be a very triggering deck. So use your best judgment. Fascinating. I'm glad I backed it. I'm still super excited about this deck. And it will be very interesting to see my relationship with it as it develops and I move forward with it in my practice, if at all. So yeah, very interesting deck. As always, thank you for watching. Please hit subscribe or share or both. Hit the little bell if you want to be notified of when I've got a new video out. I'm hoping to be a bit more consistent and coherent with my videos moving forward. You can find me on social media, virtually probably everywhere, as heathwitch. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, obviously, TikTok, Facebook is heathwitch fans. I am slowly looking at rejiggling my site at heathwitch.com a little bit, so there's more stuff to come there. And I thank you once again for joining me with this video of this unboxing of the Blood Tarot. I will link all the information about the deck and its creator in the descriptions below. And if you've got any commentary, I'm open to hearing it and would welcome any feedback, thoughts, questions, etc. that you may have. Thanks again for watching and take good care of yourselves. Many blessings.